And welcome back to an episode of Recreators, episode 11. Last time we had. Fuck, what was her name again? Eins? No, that's Eins Ogu. That's not right. But the military gal tried to start the third impact prematurely. And. Yeah. Celestia got all in her stomach. We fully tested kind of how how the creators could affect the creations. Now we got sample of it. That doesn't seem. The strange thing was that it doesn't seem to be permanent. It was just thing. So that could lead to a few theories. Is that because the way that the author, the creators, just now last episode influenced their creation was by posting an image, official image, and a story conception onto something like Twitter or just a Pixiv of things like that, official channel. So a lot of people got traction of it, but I guess when Celestia was in that form, it was the talk of the fandom, I guess, and then, but it wasn't even an hour. Did the hype of the new illustration really die down that fast? It could be, but then again, wouldn't that the sheer existence of already having that many impressions such thing already imprint that information onto the readers and people of their world? So that's how Celestia looks and acts is like that and has that spell. Why does it not work like that? Because even if the impression is just high, okay, even let's assume the impression was the peak was only like during that period of time. Like a lot of games and stories have their peaks and then they dwindle, but they still get remembered, that their information still exists, their impression still is on the fans that already have watched them. Like, let's just say Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's an old ass show. It was still from the era where the fucking TVs were boxes. But anyone who has watched that show, it still has an impression of the show. And like, if the recreator world works like that, and works ours, then from what it looks like, if Avatar, Aang, would be able to exist in come to our world because the impression is big enough. But like, okay, but then like recently there was the announcement and delays of the adult Avatars movie, and like it lost an impression on the fandom. It has all that, the designs are official and all such things, and like, would that make Aang able to transform into adult form just for a bit, or is he just being adult? I don't know. It's weird. Well, I guess we'll just see what happens. In 3, 2, 1, go. And she's alive. She's breathing. Maybe not super stable, but Altair, that's what it was. That's why wasn't guards with the middle? And I guess. Yeah. Even if you're trying to prevent the world from dying, you also have to set up the world for the world after you have prevented it from dying. That is true. There's something to me. There's something to me. And I really want. So I had to escape from this beautiful trap. And I really want. So I don't know how to escape from this dangerous trap. Stereo days. Invisible worlds. Well, that's any child against their parent. It's your fault. You raised me. You made me this way. I still don't. Because why the I still don't. Why wasn't that permanent if anyone could identify? He didn't write them. Or, I guess, didn't imply that many. Yes, it's still a dude to fulfill. A legacy. It's all snacks. Wait, I guess. That doesn't matter. But you can't really compare mech anime to just magic. I wonder. I wonder if there's a difference between trying to write a character that's supposed to be more realistic than the story inside of the story. You're entering national airspace. So it's also a Shinji, this one. Hmm. Yep, that's your destiny. Hmm. Literally, the more constructive. Probably not that big of a pun. Hmm. But you're a protagonist. Hmm. Yeah, it's always a clear objective. Yeah, that too. We have free will, they don't. Hmm. The ass? Why not just put it on autopilot again? Hmm. It is dead. Hmm. Not quite, but I get the sentiment. Hmm. Hello, police. No. Flashback. It's Pixiv. No likes. Just some views. Yeah. Oh, first comment. Better artist than she is. He probably thinks. Destroying himself. First look at your schedule. First look at your schedule. Yeah, reverse catfish. No. It's not a cat. What, a plain looking guy? Nah, fuck, he has 2 introverts. It's 2 fucking introverts. It's so awkward. That's where Altair's character's based off of. That's a restricted area. You can just tap her on the shoulder or something. That's all. Pretty sure this is illegal. But you probably won't be able to ask questions. Careful. Fake outs. There's a reason why this is a restricted area. Oh, she lost her glasses. That's a good few bucks. Now you have to hold her hands. Depends on the prescription. Well, no, he's does have glasses. Maybe he's looking fuzzy. Jealousy. Imposter syndrome. Yep. Jealousy, imposter syndrome. Hmm. It's fortune. Well, that's good quickly, but again, that's internet. Best way to help is just talk to her. Talk to her. Then again, that is always introverts. People, introverts. She killed herself. You felt satisfied in people. Her being thrown down. Yeah, that's always the sadistic, no, the sadistic. That's always that part of the human mind being satisfied by bad things happening to good people. Don't quite know why that is. Like, it's quite a few mechanisms you can, or phenomena you can explain by just bad wiring. Some correlation in your brain that could kind of explain it. That doesn't quite... Other than, you know, jealousy and things like that, that also invests in him, but he's just a good person or not acting on it. But subconsciously he still wants it. The question is, when and where is it that he maybe starts joining the hate train? And when and where is it that he fully blames himself for what happens to Setsuna? That's a good question, because unless Setsuna reached out to him and he ignored the message, and that's the inaction of self-blame, which I can also see, which then it also makes sense. It also could make sense if he somehow at some point started to join into the hate train, but then doesn't feel like quite fits his character. It all really depends, I guess. I guess that's to be seen. But yeah, either way. What else? What else? Other than things like that. Yeah, there's not very much else. Yeah, no, it's just, yeah, things, people, things. Like, it's, I guess there's a classic story of somebody somehow, yeah, it's jealousy, imposter syndrome, classic creator or slash artistic storyline. There's always something like that in there. May it be the main character or not the main character. There's always one in there. Plagiarism claims. They're quite common. With no proof, things like that. The whole thing with plagiarism is that can't quite prove it unless it's really just literally one-to-one. Unless you like layer the two pictures on top of each other and it literally overlaps like everything, then it is definitely almost plagiarism. But then there's like cases of same concept, same dots process, and then somehow ended up with similar and similar things. Like if you prompt, like if you do a thought experiment of like if you prompt every single person to draw seriously the prompts you give them, there's definitely going to be a pair out there that has very, very similar ideas and the results. But that's not plagiarism because, you know, they independently came to the same conclusion, which happens a lot. It surprisingly happens a lot in science and all that. Yeah. People's lives aren't that unique. They're unique enough, but like, it's not that unique. But, well, yeah. Either way. Yeah, it's this type of storyline. Could have kind of seen it coming. But, no. Well, either way. I don't think I have much else to say other than, getting into the full-on darker side of this story. Let's just see what happens. So I guess that's it. That's the episode of Recreators, episode 11. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
And here are the people who decided to sell out their souls. Welcome to hell.